Greater Media Broadcast News.
Welcome to another edition of Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here's some of the stories we're covering this week. The Holiday Express returns. A model train show gets on track. Fort Hancock buildings up for lease. Blue Hog Records releases its second CD. And school mascots take the field. The season of giving has arrived, and while many people will be holiday shopping for their family and friends, a local charity is bringing gifts to those in need. More than 15,000 individuals will receive gifts and entertainment from Holiday Express, an organization that touts more than 1,000 volunteers, some of whom are musicians. The group brings live holiday-themed concerts to cities across Central New Jersey, along with donations for soup kitchens, medical facilities, and more. And as it approaches its 900th event, Holiday Express is still expanding after 2 decades. This year, the professional musicians and costume characters will travel to a record 63 facilities through December 24th, and they will be bringing the holiday spirit with them. To learn more about the group, pick up your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mark Rossman with more headlines from this week's papers.
Music fans will be gathering at the Saint in Asbury Park on the afternoon of November 30th, when a benefit concert is held for a youngster who is battling cancer. One of the bands who will be appearing at the Saint on November 30th is the New Royalty, whose members hail from the local area. The band heard about the benefit from one of its fans and decided they wanted to take an active role in helping the child. You can hear the music of the New Royalty on this video, and we invite you to stop by the Saint for a very good cause.
A war veteran started a nonprofit to help other heroes just like him. Here's Tom Castles.
Michael Ricci was a young surfer in the 1960s before he faced the horrors of the Vietnam War with all the valor and bravery that could be asked of a young man fighting in a deep, dark jungle on the opposite side of the planet. He returned home badly wounded after catching 23 pieces of shrapnel in an explosion that nearly took his life. The next several years after return to the United States were plagued by survivor's guilt and substance abuse. But even after losing his friends, the ability to participate in the sports that he loved, and nearly his sanity, Ricci found the strength to face his demons and start life anew. Today, Ricci hasn't had a drink in nearly 37 years and is currently the director of Operation Beachhead, a nonprofit organization that helps the disabled enjoy active sports that Ricci loves, like surfing, sailing, kayaking, swimming, skiing, and even ice skating, all with specially designed equipment. To learn more about Ricci and to find out how Operation Beachhead can help the loved one, visit www.gmnews.com.
And here's a roundup of headlines from this week's papers. Municipalities across the state are making sure so-called puppy and kitten mills are not selling their animals locally. North Brunswick recently did this by passing a law banning stores from selling dogs and cats, and other towns such as Oceanport are considering a similar ban. The Barron Arts Center in Woodbridge will continue its holiday tradition of hosting an exhibition of model trains. Now in its 3rd year, it will open this Saturday and continue through November. The display includes miniature towns and more than 300 feet of train tracks. 36 historic buildings at Fort Hancock are receiving national attention as the federal government seeks to lease them. So far, businesses, nonprofits, and even residents from New Jersey and beyond have expressed interest in moving into the buildings. They are being marketed for reuse in an effort to preserve them, and expressions of interest will be accepted through December 16th. A high-ranking member of the Blood Street Gang is expected to receive 40 years in state prison when he is sentenced in February on charges of murder, attempted murder, and racketeering. Valdo Thompson of Jackson pleaded guilty last week to taking part in the 2006 murder of a Long Branch men. 2 others were previously convicted in the same homicide. For all these stories and more, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And here's Mike Pavlichko of Greater Media's WCTC with an update on Rutgers football. After that, we have Tim Morris with more on local sports.
Will the Rutgers football team go to a bowl game this year, and will they play Notre Dame? Two questions I'll attempt to answer for you in the next minute or so. Let's start with, will Rutgers go to a bowl game? All right, the bottom line is they've got to at least split their last two games to become bowl eligible. But even 6-6 may not get them to a bowl game. There are 35 bowl games. There are 70 bowl eligible teams right now. And here's the bottom line. There will be more by the end of the season, including hopefully Rutgers. That means too many bowl-eligible teams, not enough bowl game slots. So it doesn't guarantee them. And if they do split, it means one of those last two games of the year they'll have lost to either an awful UConn or an awful South Florida team. Now, if they do go bowling, the chances that they'll play Notre Dame, well, there is a chance. Here's the deal. Notre Dame went to the BCS national title game last year, and Notre Dame is not in danger of going to any BCS bowl game this year. So they'll fall to another game. The Big 12 has an affiliation with the Pinstripe Bowl, which the American Athletic Conference also does. Rutgers went there a couple of years ago. But the Big 12 only has 6 bowl-eligible teams. They have 6 bowl affiliations, plus one of their teams will go to a BCS game. So that's 7 openings. They've only got 6 teams. So Notre Dame could slide right in there. I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty excited. Even though the Pinstripe is a minor bowl and they might have a better chance of beating some other team, I'd love playing Notre Dame. I'd be excited about that as a fan. Rutgers just wants to get to a bowl. They want to get those young players a couple extra weeks of practice, which going to a bowl game affords you. So after a lackluster season on many levels that really disappointed for the Scarlet Knights, I think a perfect ending would be to play Notre Dame on maybe a snowy Saturday afternoon at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, a storied program going up against the oldest program in college football history, Rutgers. I'd take that over sitting at home any day. I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
The best cross-country runners in the state tackled Homedale Park's famed 5K course on November 23rd to determine who were the best. Christian Brothers Academy's boys showcased their considerable talent by breaking their own course record for team average. And the Colts had the individual winner as well in Mike McClemens, who beat Freel Township's Dylan Tarpey to the finish line. On the girls' side, Randolph won the title over Red Bank Catholic, handing them their first loss of the year, and a freshman from Haddonfield, Brianna Guest, captured the individual title. Tim Morris, Greater Media Newspapers.
I was at work when my family was evacuated. I got my family to a safe place and headed back to work.
My house was flooded. It was bad, but we were lucky.
1 year later, cleanup is still underway. Our crews have been working here every day, setting new poles, running new lines, and installing meters as homes pass inspection. We're committed to restoring and re-energizing the Jersey Shore.
A student-run record label at Monmouth University is set to release its second CD. Here's Nicole Antonucci.
Monmouth University Blue Hawk Records is hosting its second CD release on December 4th at the Plangier Center from 2 to 4 p.m. The CD will feature 6 artists who are students at the university. The student-run record label uses a hands-on approach to teach students multiple areas of the record industry while promoting the talent of student artists. It began in the spring of 2012 as a class project, but has quickly become a growing attraction on campus. Kate Lakovich, a sophomore music major, says that the goal is to help artists develop and prepare for careers in the music industry, eventually expanding beyond the Monmouth campus. To read more about Blue Hawk Records, visit gmnews.com.
There are crowds and cheerleaders, but a football game isn't complete without a mascot. Here's Kenny Walter.
As the playoffs approach and the local football scene heats up, an often forgotten part of the game is the mascots. Many local high schools have students dressed as Dragons, Buccaneers, and Mustangs throwing miniature footballs into the crowd, dancing with the school's cheerleaders, and showing unquestionable school spirit during the game. Being a mascot requires students commit time and effort as they deal with hot costumes, limited visibility, and long games. But they also can have fun at the games while possibly landing a college scholarship at the same time.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. And from all of us at Greater Media, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. This is Susie Shea. Thanks for tuning in.